And we are live. Welcome to this little introduction to an incredible company that is all about training and education and guidance in the cryptocurrency space. Folks, I am a loyal and a very happy customer of BitcoinTAF.com, or I should say BitcoinTrendandForecast.com. That was the full unabbreviated version. But as you can see by the screen I'm just sharing, this is our website here called BitcoinTAF.com, and it is by far one of the best places to go to get training and education in the cryptocurrency space. If you want to know what's happened, why it's happened, and where we're going in the cryptocurrency space, whether it's Bitcoin or the altcoins, this is the place that you need to go. And you're going to get so much value out of this. It's just a matter of how much that you want to delve into it. So what I would recommend is that you go to the website, bitcointaf.com, and simply sign up for free and then explore all the different products that are available here for you. There's something for everybody. And you are with an organization that's been around since, I believe it's 2016. So it's been over 10 years. And it has guided me through all of the ups and downs of the crazy cryptocurrency space. And it's really helped me become successful in trading and investing in this. That's the beauty of it. So for people that are just looking at this for the first time, if you really want to take advantage of an opportunity in long-term predictions, I would highly recommend that you take a serious look at these long-term algorithm reports on Bitcoin, as well as the Elliott wave on altcoins. Now, how this got created was by a unique individual by the name of Marius Landman. Marius, many years ago, started utilizing algorithms and data to predict future events. He started this in the oil and gas sector, in the drilling and completion side of the oil and gas industry, where he was able to start predicting future accidents, near misses, and major events. And in the early days, of course, the industry was quite skeptical. But over time, he proved out just how accurate these predictions were. And as such, today, the entire oil and gas industry are utilizing Marius's algorithms to minimize the risks in that very risky sector of drilling and completions in the oil and gas sector. Marius has gone on and done many other great things with this. Utilizing algorithms, he was able to predict major events in the stock market and political events and what have you. And now he's turned his eyes on the cryptocurrency space, and it has been a real godsend because if you want to be in this space, you want to be able to get good guidance. You want to be able to have someone that you can trust that has years of accuracy and predictions. And on a macro level, it is incredible. That's where I would recommend that you start. From there, we have all other kinds of training and education for you so that you can become even better at being an investor in this space. So to give you an idea of how powerful it is, let me just jump to charts on Bitcoin and his predictions over the last 2 or 3 years. What we're looking at here is the history of Marius's algorithm forecasts. And what you're going to notice here, first off, is the number 13 mastery pattern. This was forecasted back in November of 2021. So literally 2 years before it actually happened. And I'm sorry, this was predicted in 2019, my apologies. And it came true in November of 2021. And this was right here is what we were talking about. Then he predicted we were going to get a big down cycle after this. This was the time to exit the market, which a lot of us who were following Marius did. And of course, that's when the market dropped. And he predicted that we were going to go into a low all the way down to the bottom, which was the number 15 knowledge pattern. Then from there, we got into a whole new series. And this is where he started predicting other things that didn't happen. For example, in September of 2023, there was an expected drop that was going to happen. It was called the Pentagon pattern. And ironically, it was thwarted by a supernatural intervention that Marius warned us about ahead of time and said, relax, folks. Everybody's talking doom and gloom. It isn't going to happen. And sure enough, the intervention happened, which we as subscribers know exactly what it was, and saved us from exiting the market at the wrong time. Since then, we are in this new cycle, which we call the Prince of Jerusalem cycle. My apologies. And we have gone through different gates, is what we like to call them. And we've gone through the Jaffa Gate, a Zion Gate, and a Dung Gate, and now we're in this Damascus Gate. So these were, again, always were predicted at approximately 2 years out. So we've gone through this Jaffa Gate from the bottom into this. Like we expected a drop right here, and it didn't happen because of the intervention. Then we got the Jaffa Gate. We were very excited. We knew we were going to jump into this quick Zion Gate. And then we were going to go up into this quick Zion or Dung Gate, and then we're going to have a big downward pattern. And this was a very frustrating time for a lot of Bitcoiners. And then lo and behold, we were relaxed because we knew we were going to break out again. And now we're in this new pattern here called the Damascus Gate. So you can see if you're following these macro analysis and predictions, utilizing these incredible algorithms, and now, of course, tying it in with extra AI features, it is getting more and more accurate all the time. And what we're noticing today is this is where we are with Bitcoin. But the altcoins patterns have changed. Altcoins used to follow Bitcoin kind of like a glove, where the old saying was if Bitcoin went up, say 10, 20%, the altcoins will go up 30 to 50%. If Bitcoin went down 10%, altcoins would drop 30, 40%. In other words, if Bitcoin caught the cold, the altcoins would catch the flu, these sorts of things. Well, today that is changing. And now there's new patterns and new algorithmic predictions that are happening in the altcoin market. And that's why I would recommend that you take a look at both projects. So give you where we're at. The key today, if you're just in Bitcoin, what you want to be able to ask is, if you know what's happened in the past, where are we going in the future? If without Marius's information, you're guessing. You can listen to other YouTube guys that have certain agendas on their plate. They're recommending all kinds of things. We've talked to a lot of people, and they're thinking that we're going to break out. This is just a lull in the storm. We've got others saying, no, we're in this wobbly pattern for quite some time. And we've got others saying, get ready, folks, we're going to go down. The question is, who is correct? And that's where the training and education with Marius is so invaluable. And so, given that you have this information, what I would recommend is that you subscribe to his long-term reports on Bitcoin. And I would also recommend that you subscribe to the Elliott Wave. Now, here's some good news. Marius has put out a short-term special, I guess you want to call it, an opportunity where you can subscribe to the long-term reports, say for 3 months, and get the Elliott Wave reports for free. So that's a savings of about $447, where you're going to get all the algorithms and analysis on the altcoins along with Bitcoin, which really will help you to position yourself in this space. So it's a really good time to take advantage of this offer. Now, along with these long-term predictions, we also have incorporated a large group of other trainers and educators in the cryptocurrency space that teaches you more on how to be a good trader or a good investor in the market. And there's so many courses that are offered depending on what level of expertise that you want. If you're just a long-term trader, long-term investor, and you want to just have simple tools that you can utilize along with Marius's algorithms, I would highly recommend that you take a serious look at this new tool called the HODL Fire. The HODL Fire is an indicator that gives us the pivot points of the market, when to get in and when to get out. And it is a very good tool to utilize with good risk management. You can be very successful with it. Now, the other important thing to remember here is it's incredibly inexpensive. We're talking $31 a month, and you can try it out for free for 7 days. So this is something I'm going to show you today, just how invaluable it is, especially on the longer term trends. So I'm going to just jump to a coin here called virtual. And this indicator is a very valuable tool. Now I've got this set on day candle. So each candle is a 24-hour time zone. So if you're more of a long-term investor getting in and getting out on trends, the key here is you want to be able to know for sure if we're coming to a pivot top and when we're coming to a pivot bottom. Because if you knew that, you would have a much better chance of making profit because you would know when to get in and when to get out. And this tool provides that. So let me turn the tool on and just show you how it works. So this indicator tells you when you're at pivot tops and when you're getting to pivot bottoms. And it also has buy and sell tags as well. Now, how I utilize this is really quite unique. I like to have confluence or confirmation before I get in. I like to de-risk my investments as much as I can. Now, you'll notice that these bottom and top pivots are in black in the past, but you notice at the front of the chart, it's in blue. Why it's in blue is because it is what we call a unconfirmed pivot bottom. That may or may not be the bottom. That could go away. I mean, this market could suddenly turn and come back down. So the reason that's in blue is because it can't be confirmed until at some point in the future. Same with the pivot tops. When you get a pivot top in the future, it will be in blue. So to add confluence to this, what I'm looking for is not only a pivot bottom, but I'm looking for a buy tag. That reduces my risk. That gives me a better odds that it's going to go up. So in this situation, what I would have done is I would have been patiently waiting, say back here in December of 19th, we would have gotten a pivot bottom here in virtual, but I would have been patient. I've been waited and wait until we got this buy tag. And at that point, that's when I would enter a trade right about here. And it would have probably happened, let's say, in this zone. And just to be ultra conservative, let's say didn't see it right away, and I would enter it there. Then I would do risk management. I would set a stop loss and protect my capital. And in this case, I probably would have set it right down, right around this pivot bottom, because again, it could be false. Given though we had so much time gone by, this would have been greater odds of success. Again, this is training and education that we get with all the other courses that they provide. So in this situation, what we're doing is we're risking only, say, 15, 16% of the dollars that you had invested. Now, as this coin starts to trade up, I would then move my stop loss from here slowly up, reducing my risk till we get to the point where I've got it right around break even or above it. And now I've got a risk-free trade going on. And then I simply follow this pattern, slowly moving my stop loss up, riding it up until I get a pivot top. And at that point, that's when I exit. So if I were to exit, say, about here, again, to be ultra conservative, and in this case, I've taken a trade where I risked 16% and turned it into a lovely little 30%, 37% profit. And that's basically how I utilize this tool. Now, today, where are we at? Well, today we're at a pivot bottom. However, I'm not jumping into the market. Why? Because I'm looking for a buy tag. So I would simply stay out of the market until that buy tag shows up. Now, when you start using shorter time frames like 12-hour, 8-hour, 4-hour, you're going to have more opportunities to get in and get out. However, you're going to get more false bottoms and more false tops. So it's risk management is the key. And that brings me back to the products. I would highly recommend that if you're going to be trading, that you start off by taking a self-paced foundational trading course. This will teach you all about your risk management and percentages and how to utilize other indicators besides just the HODL fire to make better decisions. And then once you've completed the foundational course, now you're ready for what we call the ultimate trading course. Folks, this is one of the best courses that I have ever seen in the world. And believe me, once you've completed this course, it's like getting a PhD or a master's in investing and trading. you will become your own analyst. It is so invaluable. It is probably the best course in the world, in my opinion. And I've taken some other courses in the past, and believe me, uh, didn't hold a candle to this Ultimate Trade course. The other beautiful thing is that the indicators that you get for this course, the custom indicators, are utilized by Marius Landman and his team with our altcoins so that we can make better decisions of when to get in and when to get out of the markets. And then once you've completed that, there's so much more. There is an ultimate decentralized finance course, and there is other things where you can follow the traders, where you can basically copy trade with what some of the traders are utilizing. Again, using good risk management, you will be very successful. They even have medium-term reports where you can look to trade along with Nico in his longer-term trades. Again, with the training of the courses, you will be much more accurate in it. And to give you an idea of just how powerful those tools are, I'm going to show you a chart here. And what we're looking at is a coin like Bio, and we've got it on a 12-hour chart. And here we're showing you a couple of things. One is all of the custom indicators that come along with the Ultimate course, which give us good guidelines and gives us added confluence as to when to get in and when to get out of the marketplace. Plus, what you see marked up on the charts here is the analyst that's given us also support and resistance zones on this particular coin. And so with that, what we look for is different confluence to get in. So my question to you is right now, would you get in this trade at this point in time? Based on all of the indicators that I'm showing you here, I would say no, this is not a good time to be getting in. And the reason is we have different indicators that tell us that we want to be patient. One is we've got this moving EMA that we are below, and that tells me that that's resistance. We do have a positive where we've got a bull line here, which tells us we're above it. So that gives us some support zone. So we're in a support zone here, resistance here. But I need to know more. So now I want to get down into this detonator B indicator, and I'm looking for swings and trades. And what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a red dot right at the top and top of momentum. So this tells me that this is not a good time to be entering the trade. Also, when I go down here to detonator C, this is pointing down and crossing over. Momentum is going downward. So again, it's telling me not to jump in. I'm looking for different patterns. I'm looking for example, I'm looking for trigger dots and anchor dots. And this is what we're seeing right here. These points. This are positives where I would have entered the trade. And we would see this is crossed over and moving up. So this would have been a good point to enter. The minute that we get this red dot here, that would have been a good time to exit. So you can see how we utilize these for buying and selling and taking these trades. And on longer time frames from 4 hours, 8 hour, 12 hour, these are excellent for medium-term trading. So it depends on your risk management and how you like to trade. Some people like to work on day charts, some like to work on 12-hour, 4-hour charts. There's something here for everybody. And in fact, when you take the Hodl Knots foundational course, you can get trading in even faster time zones where they can get all the way down into 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute time zones. So it really depends on your style of trading. That's why I always like to recommend that you start off with longer term investing trading so that you slowly, gradually, work through it till you and then if your acumen is towards faster trading, then you can take these other courses to tighten that up. But for long-term trading, I like to get the analysis, the projections. I like to use the ultimate trading tools. And I also like to use the HODL Fire with that. So going back to this, now if I add in the HODL Fire, ironically, we've gotten a pivot bottom right here, and we got a buy tag right here. Do you see these green dots, how they come in confluence with the HODL Fire? And now on the 12-hour chart, when we got this red dot here to get out, we also got a sell tag. So you see how this works very, very well. So that's why I like to use all the different indicators to make my decisions on trading cryptocurrencies. So that's the beauty of all the information we have here. So with that, I'd like to thank you folks for listening in this morning. Well, at least it's morning my time. And hopefully we'll see you signed up for free and we can start the journey with you. And believe me, you will be very, very pleased with the information and results that you're going to get. And with that, I'd like to thank you for coming today and we will talk to you later. Take care. All the best.